Welcome to the abridged version of Nationwide News, and this is because of a live program coming from Sokoto on 774 Explode Project Enhancing Gender Space in Politics. Let's begin the bulletin with court proceedings. In a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court has outlawed the current practice whereby funds standing to the credit of local governments in the country are being paid to state joint allocation account of states. This judgment arose from a suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, advocating the administrative and final autonomy of local governments in the country. Before this well-considered verdict by the Apex Court, such local government funds were being paid to and managed through the state's joint allocation accounts. Here is the report.
Delivering the unanimous judgment on behalf of the 7-man panel of Supreme Court justices, Justice Emmanuel Ajim overruled the preliminary objections raised by the 36 states against the case. The Apex Court held that sending money to the state's joint allocation accounts to be disbursed by state governors to local government councils was an illegal practice, particularly since state governors had abused it. Emphasizing the principle of separation of powers, the Apex Court observed that it was the duty of the federal government to protect the existence and functioning of the 3 tiers of government. Therefore, the Supreme Court ordered that direct disbursement to local government areas was the right thing to do, restraining governors from appointing caretaker councils. Also, restraining the federal government from recognizing or disbursing funds to any local government not democratically elected.
The body of State Attorneys General of the Federation will study it and then we'll come up with our statement on it.
Money due to local government shall be paid through the joint account, but that provision was considered to be a discretionary provision, meaning it can be tinkered with.
An iconic judgment that has restored grassroots democracy.
Now is granted. The local government chairman, if elected, he will get his money, he will sit down and design the budget, him and his councillors, and do whatever the people require from his own local government.
In the suit, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice has sought to give bite to the executive order given by former President Muhammadu Buhari for the entrenchment of local government autonomy to engender their development.
And now to discuss more on the Supreme Court judgment is a legal practitioner, James Igwe, SAN. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide, sir.
Thank you very kindly for inviting me.
All right, hearing that, of course, the Supreme Court has presided over this matter, what do you think are the social and, of course, the legal implications of this judgment, landmark judgment?
Yeah, thank you once again. I think today marks a great milestone in the annals of the history of development of local government councils in Nigeria. And if you remember, since 1976, reforms of the local government that was carried out, that also led to up to the drafting stage of the committee, there has always been an agitation for autonomy of local government. And under our constitution, section 7 said that the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is under this constitution guaranteed. That means the constitution from the onset intended that the existence of local government must be guaranteed. And then if you go to section 162, subsection 1 of the Constitution, it created a federation account, which in effect means that the federal government of Nigeria became a trustee of all funds of the federation. And if you look at the decision of Supreme Court earlier in Attorney General or Cross River and Attorney General of the Federation, it emphasized that this trustee must be able to ensure accountability of these funds. And if you go down to the same constitution, sections 5, 6, 7, and 8, it created a state to ensure that these funds go to the local governments. It entrusted the state governments as sub-trustees of these funds. And when you look at, so state government became trustees. What the Supreme Court is saying today is that it seems to us that there's been a breach of this trust by these state governors. All
right, you just mentioned that the states of the local councils are guaranteed here. Do you think that is possible?
It will be possible if we have transparently elected local government councils who are able to have funds directly from the federation account, who shall be held responsible as trustees of those funds to their local areas. The whole essence of creation of local councils in Nigeria is to ensure development in the grassroots. And what the Supreme Court it seems to me to be saying is that beyond the wordings of section 6.5 and 6, because you find that there was a minority judgment that said because of section 162.5, that those funds should go to the state governments and it should not be tinkered with. But the Supreme Court is saying that as a policy court, beyond the wordings of those provisions, we must look at the intention of the legislature in making the law. And if you look at the intention of the lawmaker, the intention must be that the local councils must be avenues of development in the grassroots. So the question now is that, can we really say, speaking to our hearts as Nigerians, that the intention of ensuring development in the local government areas, in our villages, guaranteed by the Constitution, is being obeyed? The answer is no. There must have been a breach of trust for the Supreme Court to intervene to say these funds should be paid directly to the local government councils.
All right, talking about council, of course, you know, we know that when they are given this autonomy, you know, things has to be put right. And then what would you say in this instance? What is your agenda for them?
Well, my agenda for them remains what I have always preached. Now, to ensure a highly competitive environment, 4 factors must be present. The first factor is to ensure that the laws that are made are just, and that these laws protect the welfare and happiness of Nigerians who are under the jurisdiction of that law. Then the second is that those laws are administered justly. That means that when they are entrusted with any responsibility, including the funds they are going to be managing now, they must administer the laws very justly. Then the third will apply to interpretation, which is what the Supreme Court has done now. Then there's a fourth one, the practices. Practices by government officials and practices by individuals. It must be a time of accountability. At this time in our nation's history, every public official must rise above the complaints of Nigerians involving corruption, involving financial mismanagement. There must be accountability. And then I have listened to the argument of state governors saying because of the wordings of section 162, subsection 5 and 6, that the funds will remain with us. The question is, if you really intended that those funds should be used for development of your local government councils, why can't it be paid to them directly? And why can't they be held to account directly? Okay. Because as it stands now, it's apparent that Nigerians are finding it difficult to hold their state governors to account.
All right, thank you very much, and we wish the local councils a success. Thank you very much, James Igwe, SAN. We appreciate your input on Nationwide.
Thank you very kindly. It must be a time for this nation to really move forward.
And we will definitely move forward by God's grace.
I appreciate it. Thank you very kindly.
All right. Away from legal matters, Senate has confirmed Kashimu Salihu Argungu as chairman of Police Service Commission. The confirmation is in line with the request of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Also confirmed Chief Onyemuche Nnamani as secretary and Frederick Taiwo Lakanu as member of the commission. Lawmakers express hope that the confirmation will enhance process of recruitment and promotion in the force for improved security across the country. Elsewhere in Sokoto, the 774 Expl project has been inaugurated in Sokoto State. The project, which was initiated by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, aims to improve the participation of women in politics as well as promote gender equality and women empowerment. With the theme Enhancing Gender Space in Politics, the project is coming second after Benue State with the aim to promote greater female participation and ensure equitable representation of the population.
That 774 means 774 local government areas in Nigeria. But what we require is each and every one of us to ensure we deliver what is expected of our dear party, the APC. Today, we gather to launch the project 774 Expl Initiative in Sokoto State, a project that embodies our collective aspiration for a more inclusive, equitable, and empowered political landscape, not just for Sokoto State, but the Nigeria at large.
Part of the initiative is the sponsorship of women in different skills, a renewed hope initiative agenda. Now, ahead of the planned population and housing census in Nigeria, the federal government has inaugurated a Census National Security and Logistics Committee to drive a hitch-free exercise. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, who is chairing the committee, assured of safe environment for the head count. Oluseyi Agbiabo has details.
Duty calls again, this time to mitigate likely security and logistic challenges towards achieving a credible population and housing census as preparations to deliver first digital head count in Nigeria continue. The inauguration of the Security and Logistics Committee is the latest move to achieve this quest. The committee is jointly chaired by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and National Population Commission Chairman, Nasir Isakwara, with members selected from relevant security agencies and other partners.
It is in the light of this and the desire to bequeath an enduring legacy of evidence-based planning for sustainable development that the conduct of the nation's population and housing census is of topmost priority to the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Therefore, we are doing this not to be caught pants down. We will be ready. The rest, of course, is when government tells us, come, we want to do it. So we are ready.
I wish to assure the committee and all Nigerians that the Commission remains committed to the conduct of a credible and acceptable census that will be transformational and meet international standards. In the coming census, everyone will be counted.
The MPC sensitized the committee members on pre-census engagements and gave an update on the state of preparations. Next move, according to the National Security Advisor, will be to have the same Census Security and Logistics Committee replicated in all the 774 local government areas of Nigeria. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
We shall be linking up with Blessing Omeche Bute at the Muhammadu Buhari Mother-Child Care Center, Makurdi, for more insight on cholera. But before we link up with Blessing, let's take this background on cholera.
Cholera, caused by the bacterial Vibrio cholerae, has continued to pose as a threat to public health in Nigeria since its first emergence in the 1970s. The disease is usually common during the rainy season due to poor drainage systems, hygiene practices, and limited access to clean tap water. In the last couple of weeks, there have been an outbreak of cholera in more than 30 states of the country, causing panic for residents and relevant authorities. Despite the suspected cases reported in Benue State, some residents still practice unhygienic environmental sanitation, as others barely have any information about the disease.
I don't know whether the disease is still in existence in Benue, because I've not heard about any person having cholera in Benue State. But I know it's there.
I just heard that cholera is spreading, but I don't know much about it.
Medical experts caution against self-medication and advise people to present themselves to a health facility whenever there are symptoms such as frequent watery stool, vomiting, fever, among others.
To prevent cholera, we just need to take the universal basic precautions like washing our hands regularly, make sure the water we are using is very clean, then we avoid taking water from a river and all these places that could be contaminated.
Though no confirmed case in Benue State, health authorities had announced 16 suspected cases and 4 deaths. They say government health facilities have been supplied with drugs in the event of any outbreak. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Bute, NTA News.
Still dwelling with a Blessing in Makurdi, we shall be linking up with her live now. Blessing, you have highlighted in your report that there are no known cases, fatal cases for now, except for the ones that we are not too sure. Can you tell us the measures the government is putting in place, to prevent the occurrence and, of course, fatality in this regard?
Okay, thank you, Noleen. As at the moment, the latest on the cholera situation in Benue is that the Ministry of Health and Human Services have recorded a positive case via the rapid diagnostic testing, which is awaiting confirmation through culture out of the 19 suspected cases. These cases reported so far are from 3 local government areas of Ado, Otukpo, and Agatu. With me is the Assistant State Epidemiologist, Dr. Henry Ijabo, for more insights. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Okay, good afternoon.
There were suspected cases and some deaths recorded in the state. What is the situation as at today?
Okay, so far the disease surveillance structures in the Ministry of Health, under the leadership of the Honorable Commissioner for Health, has been surveilling for cholera cases shortly before the advent of the rains. And then so far, we've recorded about 19 suspected cases. Out of these suspected cases, we've lost 4, unfortunately. One of the cases tested positive to rapid diagnostic testing. And then, but we also need a culture of this sample to confirm a positive case. So far, for Benue, that is where we are at the moment.
Okay. And what control and preventive measures are being put in place by the state government to curtail an outbreak?
Okay, strategies and other modalities have been in place even before anticipating the season of cholera. That's when the rains start. The Ministry of Health has been actively searching for cholera cases with the advent of the rain. And then we've also had collaborative efforts with sister ministries, talking about Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, to strengthen the water health and sanitation, water sanitation and hygiene, efforts within the state. This also includes the curbing of indiscriminate open defecation, which is a major cause of these cholera outbreaks that we've been having. Then also media engagement, on radio, on TV, and then distribution of information, education, and communication materials, to strategic at-risk populations, hospitals, and also in the IDP camps. We've been there, and the Ministry of Health has also distributed infection prevention and control materials. These are materials that will enhance hand hygiene, frequent hand hygiene, and a whole lot of other strategies. So all these are ongoing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. That has been Dr. Henry Ijabo, the State Assistant Epidemiologist, Benue State. Over now to Noleen for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Blessing, for your contribution from Makurdi. And now we shall be linking up with our Lagos Network Center, where Hingino is waiting. All right, I'm told that before we join Hingino, Musbau is waiting for us at the presidential villa to give us an update on the labor matters and, of course, the deliberation of labor union with the president. Musbau, you are on.
All right, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. The meeting between the president and the leadership of the organized labor unions just ended. The meeting started at about a few minutes past 2, and it lasted for about an hour. But after that meeting, it seems we still have a lot to do more, with the meeting being adjourned for just a week. Now we have the Minister of Information and National Orientation with us, Mohammed Idris, to tell us a bit of the outcome of that meeting. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we've had this meeting. What was the major outcome?
Well, it's still work in progress. The president has met with the organized labor as he has promised. He has kept his promise. This is, of course, in continuation of his regular consultation to arrive at a new national minimum wage that works for Nigeria. Recall that already there is 62,000 naira that has been put out there, the government side, the organized private sector, but organized labor is still not accepting that. But we know that they will come to the table, and they have come to the table today. We know that this is going to be something that is going to be workable for Nigerians. The organized labor and government will reach an agreement. We have adjourned now for a week. The labor union has asked that government allow them at least a week to consult further. We have allowed them. We are going to reconvene in the next 1 week, and we hope and we believe that at the end of the day we will have something good for all Nigerians. The president has always said that this is our country. The labor unions are Nigerians. We are all Nigerians. We have to work together to find something that works for all of us, and I think this is a step in the right direction. We do hope that by the time we come together again next week, we will have something that we can put out for Nigerians to see and to agree with.
Okay, Honorable Minister, as we have always known, this is not about the federal government alone. We had a tripartite committee that led to this moment. How is the federal government carrying other stakeholders along to be on the same page?
You know, a couple of weeks ago, we made an announcement after the Federal Executive Council meeting that the federal government will consult with the subnationals, will consult also with the private sector. And today he has met with labor. So this is a continuation. All those members of the tripartite agreement will be met with, and the president is keeping to his promise to consult. He doesn't just want to take a unilateral decision. It's a decision that affects all of us. So he has consulted with the subnationals. Consultation with the organized private sector is ongoing. You have also seen that this consultation with the organized labor has also happened today. They have asked for a week. Like I said earlier, we're going to meet with them again. Hopefully we'll have something that all of us will agree on in the next 1 week.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, giving us updates of the meeting that's just ended at the presidential villa here in Abuja. And we hope that the meeting in a week's time will provide the lasting solution to the ongoing misunderstanding or disagreement between the government and Labour.
We hope so, Musbat and Wahab. Thank you very much. Our first commercial beckons at this point. You're still watching Nationwide. So Nationwide, we shall be joining Susan O'Malley in our Makurdi Network Center for more on Nationwide. Good evening, Susan.
Noleen, it's good to have you join us in Makurdi. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC Benue State Zonal Command, has recently arrested 109 suspects, convicted 17, and confiscated 10 exotic vehicles allegedly connected to corrupt activities. Zonal Director of the Command, Anselm Ozioko, reveals this during a sensitization road walk to commemorate the 2024 African Anti-Corruption Day in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Charles Abba reports that the theme for the day is effective whistleblowing for corruption-free Nigeria.
Corruption has been a bane of both local and global development, even in Nigeria. In view of its danger and threat to human existence, government at all levels have continued to strategize to fight the menace, one of which is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Zonal Director, EFCC, Makurdi Zonal Command, Anselm Ozioko, who led a road walk by the command to mark the 2024 African Anti-Corruption Day, indicated that individuals, communities, corporate bodies, and other players should join hands to tackle it frontally.
We cannot win the war against corruption through lip service, emotional outbursts, or mere mob campaigns. There is a need for commitment, passion, consistency, and credibility of intelligence.
He also disclosed that the command is highly committed in fighting the hydra-headed monster, corruption, and that in addition to the arrest of 109 suspects, conviction of 17, and confiscation of 10 exotic vehicles, whistleblowing would deepen and add impetus to the fight.
Work against corruption, do that whistleblow today is the essence of the work across various streets in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
In line with her pragmatic efforts to achieving food security, wife of the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Mrs. Christy Ode, has equipped rice farmers with knowledge and tools for rice fortification to enable them to produce more nutritious rice for the masses. The empowerment was through her pet project, Evergreen Women Farmers Foundation, in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Simbiat Agbaji has more.
Agriculture, according to research, is the mainstay of the economy of Benue State, engaging a good number of the workforce. Popular crops cultivated in commercial quantity include rice, yam, soybean, maize, and cassava. Rice, being a staple food consumed regularly in Nigerian homes, most times loses some vitamins and minerals during the milling and polishing process, hence the need for rice fortification. It is to this end that Evergreen Women's Farmers Foundation, a pet project of the wife of the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Christy Sam Ode, is partnering with an agricultural firm to sensitize stakeholders on rice fortification, a technology used to process rice.
We are bringing progress to life to combine the essential, the desirable, and the sustainable. And this is really part of essential, what we're bringing to Nigeria. It's part of staple foods fortification, which we already do for flour.
It's not cost implicating. The cost is not so heavy. Yes, but it's going to add value.
I've been re-inspired to go back into my rice farming.
Wife of the Deputy Governor and visionary behind the foundation, Christy Sam Ode encouraged Benue women to embrace the technology, as it will not only enhance the value of their products, but also contribute to community health.
When we farm, we have enough food in our houses, in our families. From there, we also we can sell some and still make money to support our families.
A team led by the wife of the deputy governor is expected to take a tour to the rice mills in Makurdi to inspect the facilities in Makurdi. Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
And that's our package from Makurdi. Nationwide continues with Noleen in Abuja. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. In other news, President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, says his country is ready to partner with the Federal Republic of Nigeria in key areas of the economy. This was when he received the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, in his office in Belarus, highlighting agriculture, food processing industry and education as some of the key areas of cooperation between the two countries. President Lukashenko, who spoke through an interpreter, pointed out that the visit of the First Lady has further strengthened the resolve of his administration to enhance bilateral relations with Nigeria. He expressed the desire of his government to have the Belarusian Foreign Affairs Minister visit Nigeria to further develop the areas of collaboration. While appreciating President Lukashenko, who for providing 20 Nigerian students full scholarship through her pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, Nigeria's First Lady told her host that the RHI is currently involved in empowering women, especially through the Women Agricultural Support Program, which is a way to improve on food security in Nigeria.
And we had quite, a few collaborative ideas that both countries can share.
Earlier, the First Lady met with the Belarusian Minister of Education, Andriy Ivanets, who pointed out that there is currently a Nigerian student population of about 600 in the country, with many of them doing very well academically. He also informed the First Lady that the Belarusian government hopes to establish specialist training centers in Nigeria. During the First Lady's visit, she also met with the Speaker of Belarus Parliament, Ms. Natalia Kochanova, and members of the Women's Union of Belarus, made of women professionals from all sectors. On religious news, Christians have been enjoined to live life of those prepared for the rapture. This was at the 25th anniversary celebration of the Apostolic Church Abuja Area Launa Territory Durumi 1 Convention. Charity Zaka reports that the church also honored the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who was presented with an award as an ambassador of peace.
From choir renditions to that of the congregation, praise and worship reign as the church appreciates what she describes as God's benevolence upon the church.
Forward ever, backward never. That the church will move forward, they should stand on the doctrine of the apostles.
So the message is that we should live our lives in such a way that by the time that resurrection takes place, we shall reign with Jesus Christ.
The 25th anniversary also featured recognition of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, with the Award of Peace Ambassador. Similarly, the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, was also recognized for the infrastructure developmental stride in the FCT. Mandate Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs, Adedayo Benjamin Lani, represented the First Lady.
As a matriarch of Nigeria, the mother of this nation, and an expression of the Renewed Hope Initiative to every family across the 774 wards of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
If you have accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, the first primary assignment you have is to bring souls, the lost souls, to God, because that is what He cherished so much.
There was the cutting of the anniversary cake. The theme for this year's convention is Jesus Christ, the Resurrection and the Life. Charity Zakka, NTA News.
And now is a sports update. And the sports update there concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for watching. I am Noleen. Abel-Ameh. Enjoy the rest of your evening.